distraction of gladiatorism is ridiculous. We've had how many Super Bowls since I was a kid? Super Bowl was played 6 months before I was born. We're still not living the peace of Jesus Christ, and still not globally caring and kind and loving. I mean, we had Yogi's gang running around, getting a vacuum cleaner and vacuuming up a smog guy on a bicycle. It's like, okay, I don't think it's bicycles that cause smog. I think it's industrialization through extortion and exploitation. But drive to your job, you got to pay me to live here. Buy the car because I want to sell it to you, because I want to be an industrialized millionaire. And I want to build war machines for the war industry, and I would throw flame on people, and we'd 100,000 of them, paint them brown, right? You're like, wow. Jerry talked to me last night about stuff, and I started remembering my past too, in this valley. It's like Mr. Swank and the KKK and Freddie LaFall and the bigoted, the tribal bigoted, young men and like their fathers at Mayfield. I couldn't date any of the brown girls because I was white. And, it's like, I think I've pretty much Othello'd my David through my Moses, through my, going up to Colville, dealing with all the whites being prejudiced against the native people there, and the one black guy in town, and the Mexican kid in town, and standing in the park and take on the whole football team, and Rico helping us, and so I think I've done my share. My whole life's been this just big biblical stance of right and wrong. You're nothing but a bunch of trailer trash, Mac. And he said something about Cherokee Indians. No, I didn't. I told you all about yourself, and you didn't want to hear it. I went all James Cleveland Owens on you, and you didn't like it. Yeah. Jesse Owens was one of my favorite people. Yeah, but then Dorian Haywood played him in the movie, and Dorian Haywood's one of my favorite actors when I was a kid. He plays Simon Haley. All right, okay. So, been there, done that, done it all. They've gone through and they biblicaled me and Quraned me and up and down to me and up all around the world, and I can't find my baby. You know exactly why I went away. You know exactly why I went away. Been around the world, and you were bad, so bad. I don't think he's coming back. I don't have to quote unquote come back to abusive people and be abused by them and tolerate their abuse. I just got to be me, and I've been me ever since I was born, and I've fulfilled prophecy, and the Job, Daniel, from the guy to the crap in the military and standing up to the Crips ripping off the single mothers at Casamia, to you name it, Earl's done it. Okay, no, I've never, because I live in a Roman civilization, I've never had to raise my hands to another person to physically hurt them. I've taken sucker punches in the face from two trained cage fighters that wanted to get sexual access to Natalie at a food city in Cochise County, with all the professional assassins watching through the equipment going, God damn, it didn't even faze him. No. And then he stopped himself because he knew that he'd have to deal with the incarceration system if he took reprisals against the two young kids that were coming to attack him. Okay. I'm convinced he's David enough for the David Club. No, I wasn't. Well, I gotta see what? Okay. What do you hear? Christ, I love you. Didn't you see I wave? I believe in you and God. So tell me I'm saved. Simon, none of the Nobel Prize winners, nor the NASA engineers, nor the quantum physicist or neurobiologist understand what power is, understand what glory is, understand it all. And the people that took omnipotent and omnipotent God and turned Jesus into Caesar and Zeus and all the wackadoodle assholes up on the mountain, I love them, but fuck that shit. I ain't here to do that shit. I'm here to circumcise people's hearts, like Jesus said he was doing in the Roman Empire, and he told me to do, and I already did what I needed to do to, the days in the book of Daniel, the book of Daniel, the book of Revelation. I did everything above and beyond the duty to prove that beyond any reasonable doubts. I've gone everything. And then these people think, well, great literature. Okay, so you need Plato's Republic of a police force that doesn't want to be the police force and acts like me but never sleeps. So when everybody has robots, we'll have world peace. So you're going to destroy your ecosystem to continue building aggressively and build more equipment than you need to do things correctly. Because you won't do things correctly until you are the cause of, please eat all the insane socio-psychopaths you invented through your economic competition, which is total mythology. Okay. No. Okay. I mean, you're saying this and it's going in this direction, but I know I'm right and I'm good and I'm truthful. And I know you're wrong and you're bad and you're a liar. Okay. So there must be something really wrong with your technology. If I can't correct it, and I haven't corrected it by now, just by myself on YouTube, right? That people are still watching, 100,000 people are listening to Dwayne talk about comic books, about, okay, it says God's omniscient, omnipotent in the first book of the Bible, right? Then how can Jesus be God? That's the miracle. That's the miracle. In Genesis, faith in God replaces any man believing he's God. In the New Testament, Jesus reiterates that to the Romans. And then you assholes read it and say, Jesus is Caesar. He's saying he's Caesar. I'm Caesar, love nature. All right, what the fuck, Stephen Hawking? What's wrong with you? I'm going to kill God, replace God with my ego, and give us the theory of nothing. And then it went Big Bang, and then there was everything. I started talking, and the universe was invented. I'm sorry, created. I created it. I'm feeling creative. I'm the origin of human creativity. I'm Stephen Hawking. Okay. Shit. That man had a huge ego problem. There was love there. Alan Gibson told me that. There's love there. And I was like, I talked with the guy because he wanted to talk with me and, prove to me that there was no God. And that's all he wanted to do. And all I wanted to do was say, hey, Steve, just believe and have faith, and then most of your troubles will go away. Oh, that's just bullshit magical thinking like the rest of these religious mooks. No, you forgive debt and trespass and love one eternal faith filled peace, like I told all these scientific mooks, about 6 months ago. Then, a lot of the stress and the competition that causes the conditions for your disease will be eliminated. Well, two and two is four. I'm an excellent driver. It's like, okay, so if we don't let off nuclear weapons, people don't get sick and die from them. You still have whack job Madam Curie and her fucked up husband. Okay. Well, at least until they die, they would be dead, but they wouldn't have, hey, we died from radiation poisoning. Hey, we mass murdered the poor for the status quo of economics for the wealthy. You see what I'm saying? Okay, so she's a genius. Why would you want to talk theory with that woman? I wouldn't want to talk to her for 5 minutes. She'd drive me crazy. She'd be like that stupid French engineer at Walmart with his daughter in the cart going, I can't accept it. I'm an engineer. I have to be able to prove it. So you're not going to stand up for the Lord's Prayer for your daughter because you want to build equipment to mass murder over at White Sands and feel powerful doing it. Oh. Understand what power is. Understand what glory is. Understand it all. Right, Ted Neely fans? Let's go down to the Rio Grande Theater. He's going to be singing with Yvonne Helm, and she's Hawaiian, not Algonquin. Boy, I had bad information on that one. I also thought Cameo was from the ATL, and they're from New York. You get bad information. Bad information. It gets corrected. I stand corrected. But when I have bad information, it's like, okay, Cameo's from New York and not the ATL, right? Oh, good. What does that have to do with the Lord's Prayer? Yvonne Elman is Hawaiian and not Algonquin. But what's that got to do with us not living the Lord's Prayer? Okay? And that used to drive me nuts. Amy used to do that to me. No, you didn't. Okay, because you were wearing a brown dress instead of a blue dress, and it happened at the Holiday Inn instead of the Days Inn. Okay. But otherwise, I didn't catch you running around and screwing some other guy. Okay. I know in a week you're going to be pregnant and say, I did it. Okay. She used to do that to me all the time. I'm like, how the hell? You were being shitty to me, rubbing it in my face and did not have sex with me. And you'd laugh at me and tell me you're pathetic. Then you'd show up pregnant and go, you got me pregnant. I'm like, and Natalie would always sit and tell me, Ralph, if you think you got her pregnant, you really are Jesus Christ. I'm like, shut up, Natalie. Obi-Wan has taught you well. Amy would get mad. She's so sarcastic. It's like, she's our daughter. I raised her. She's obnoxious and sarcastic. Use the force, Natalie. Right? Now I can't get through. She's like her mom. I've seen her YouTube and all her subscriptions. It's like every Zoolander on the Zoolander planet. The only one I would probably listen to is the drywall guy. That might help. Okay. I like the drywall guy. I'm going to go listen to the drywall guy. Everybody else, go away, little girl. A lot of them are guys. Yeah, but they're fashionably models doing yoga with nice abs. Go away, little girl. I'm not supposed to be alone with you. When you are near me like this. No, I don't want to kiss any of those hot guys. Oh, God, no. Kick him in the ass? Yeah, maybe kiss him on the cheek. No, I don't want a bag of silver. Fuck you very much. Thank you, Fazzo. Hey, put the cooler on the stand. The Marines are watching. God, we gotta do it again. Bum, 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 bum. This one, we'll see. I'll get the cooler up on the stand. Yeah, I've done it before. I'll do it again. And so, we'll see which one. I'm going to go up there, climb up there and take the measurements. And we're going to go down to Lowe's and Home Depot and see Mr. McCall and the Pips. What about Gladys Knight? I don't think she's there. Damn! I really like If I Were Your Woman. I do too. That's one of my favorites. Yeah. I got all excited when Amy was screwing around on me and sex texting the guys at Fort Huachuca because I thought I'm going to be with someone like Janet Jackson or Jennifer Lopez or somebody, but I didn't want it to be Jennifer Lopez because she was married, right? Janet was single. So I'm like, I want to be the single girl, not the married girl. Thou shalt not covet. No. And then I get the thing in my head, from Jesus, you got the thing. It's not her. She's married and got kids. Earl, you're married and got kids. Shut up, Jesus. Okay. Getting all freaking technical. It's not her. No, I think he never really told, after that, he told me, he goes, no, that's the person that they're using to head fuck you since you were young, young and pretty, New York City girl, 25, 35, hello, baby, New York City, yeah. You grew up riding the subways, on the 6, right? People up in Harlem, down on Broadway, you're no tramp, but you're no lady. Talk that street talk, you're the heart and soul of New York City, and love is just a passing word. It's a thought you had in a taxi cab that got left in the dirt, and he dropped you off, and he said, "A girl, oh, you're a native New Yorker. Bum, bum, ba-da-da-da. You should know the score by now. Left, right, left, right, left, right." Time to settle the score. I am not into scores. Okay. I'm not here to be your champion. I'm the champion. I'm not here to kill the Philistines for you. I'm not here to kill the Romans for you. I'm here to circumcise the hearts. And if that doesn't work, I will correct their technology and I will police the entire world with their technology. And I don't think we're going to have to get to where everybody has a robot because someone's excessive and compulsive and say, you need to start fasting. I'm reducing my caloric intake. I have vegetables for lunch. And I'm going to go back to the, exercising thing that I was doing before I got so depressed connecting Emily Grace. And, you were depressed for 3 months. I'm sorry. I spent 3 months being depressed because I was connecting to Amy's kids. Yeah. And Patrick's still angry. So I'm sorry. My son's still angry because he's being head fucked by Wi-Fi just like me. And Amy's kids are depressed as hell. And the only one that's having a good time is the Kardashian. And I don't even know if she's having a good time. She might be. People put on a public face. Publicly, they can put on a good face. Privately, it's like, you're living in hell. You have pollution, extortion, exploitation. Greeks are dying People are dying every day because of abuse and neglect and stuff like that. It's one thing to grow old and die and understand exponential growth. It's another thing to be murdered because people panic and then they think, oh, let's totally reduce. And we might even in some way, in a lot of places, been going through a population reduction because of mass murder and homosexuality and birth control and physical altering to sexual reproduction encouraged in our public schools. And then you get all the conservatives, well, that's bad. No, it's not, because all you're doing is raising your kids to go mass murder people from tribes that were mass reproducing because they had archaic religious beliefs and were being mass murdered by you because you're the champion. I am the champion. Go sell them Girl Scout cookies, right? So make sure you bring your plastic cards and cell phones and your little red wagons. It sucks, man. Yeah, I know it sucks. And using children in advertising, it's sick, but it doesn't make sense. But whatever makes money makes sense, then it makes sense. Fuck, shave your head. Just go all prison style and just, yeah, okay. No, I had to shave my head because of chemical poisonings, and the toxins kind of are irritating, so I just shave it and keep it shaved. I don't know if I'll ever grow it long again. I can't tell you. I'm not God. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. I'm not one of the math gods at Princeton. I am not John Nash or his offspring. So, I can't tell you. I'm not clinically insane. I will not go to buildings of genocidal commerce and become one of their champions and do mathematical equations to out-murder the other murderer at the other mathematical champion school in the other country. This is nuts, and they get them all together and say, oh, and this one's the best and we should all follow the best. And then they sit there and say, okay, Tesla, teach everybody how to do that with the cars. We're in competition. Why are you in competition? Share, care, given accordance to need, built to last. Can't you do math? Okay. The Federation. Woo! You Romulans. Woo! You Klingons. We built a cloaking device, Captain. They can't see me. He's an invisible man. There you go. He's lost his mind. Not that. We can't even see his mind. Oh, damn, right? I have a virtual presence. I am the police force. They have those flocking camera things. And the two assholes arguing against them, right? Just said we shouldn't have the cameras. Okay, so we shouldn't have the cameras. So criminals should just be able to move around about the cabin area because of what it says in the Constitution. Yes, and if you watch these people moving around the cabin area committing crimes on a daily basis, you're violating their constitutional rights. Right, to be a criminal. Right. Well, what about forgive debt and trespass and love one another faithful? We were moved under God. Well, that's good because God's omniscient and omnipotent, so God's under and over. Okay, it's all around, right? Where can Jantheism? Where can I lay that I'm not any further and closer to God? In the showers with cyanide at Auschwitz, God was present. God's omniscient and omnipotent. Okay. You will commit abomination and sin in the very presence of the essence of creation. Okay? But God is present with the maggot. God is present with the recluse on the wall trying to climb down the bed and eat stuff off me while I'm sleeping. You don't think I know that, asshole? You think I'm some kind of a mook? You ever read the book of Job? Gosh damn, you're dumb. And even when you read the book of Job, it's hard to understand because it's been turned into Roman bullshit by Romans. And God, he did it because he disobeyed God. And God, first person possessive pronoun. And my ego does saith that if you disobey my ego, I shall torture you with. Okay? And that's not true. Okay. That's a Roman mistranslation. God is not a jealous God. What Jesus is saying is there is no God but God, and God is not begotten, nor is God begotten. God always is, always has been, and always will be. You cannot replace God with your ego. You're a jealous God. Only my God. No. God is God, and you are not. But you are the creation of God. So be the creation and don't try to replace the creation with invention and tell Stephen Hawking, shut the fuck up. We're not impressed with his Big Bang or his theory. right? Guys, we can see through observation, okay, that he's correct about the Big Bang and about the forming of, and then people, first there is an apple, then first there is a seed, then there is an apple, then there is a tree. First there is a, seed, then there's an apple, then there's a tree, right? Now, where did, what came first? You need the tree for the apple, and the seed comes from the apple, right? Do you understand the knowledge of the apple? And then so everybody's going, where is God's omniscient and omnipotent? Where can you lie that you're not any further or closer to God? Stop worrying about it. Start worshiping God and stop murdering people with the fraud that is your brain and your ego that tries to limit God to your perception. There you go. Just knock it off. If you don't try to figure it out, life is so much better. It's quieter. It's more humble. It's more intelligent. You understand laws better. You engage in the understanding of these laws better. If you look at life eternally and stop trying to confine the infinite glory to your head, zombie, then you behave in a better manner. You're more humble. You realize, okay, what gave me life for this eternal existence through holy covenants is far greater than my existence through holy covenants, through eternally loving one another faithfully. Right? It's Jerry and Josie. I love those two so much. I wish they could understand how much Tishna Fun loves them. Okay. How much Taza loves them, Taza went to the east and came back and died. I start crying again. Damn it, Lopez, you're such a brat. Okay, but native New Yorker. And so, but yeah, Taza. Taza went to Washington, D.C. and came back and died from disease and depression. He went to places where he wasn't exposed to things that he wouldn't be. And the depression of the train ride and coming back and knowing that his family was not going to be able to try to have the orchards and the javelinas and the stuff that they had for a long time to have a really good life before the whites started showing up. And I mean, they were aggressive and stuff like that. They were in Texas and other places where it got real aggressive. In that part of Arizona, they told them, don't come here if we can't trust you. And shit. The people that forged the West, okay. The Buffalo Soldiers in this region loved the Apaches, and the Apaches loved them. Because most of them had been abused. And most of them wanted to be treated with dignity and dinner and respect. There were a few bad ones, but most of them were pretty good because they had been put down so low as slaves that they Clay Walker, and this woman, this man don't know how not to go back there again, right? And the Buffalo Soldiers did not want to hunt down. They had to get the whites to do it. They didn't want to hunt down and kill Victorio and his band. They didn't want to hunt down and kill. That's not in the Matt Damon movie. Yeah, that the Buffalo Soldiers were put there because they found that the Apaches behaved better behaving with the Buffalo Soldiers than they did with the whites. That the whites, especially after the Boscombe affair, they don't tell you. It's not in the history books. Okay. It's not in history books. You might learn it in folklore and stuff, and it might have some books when you go to the is it the 9th and the 10th Cavalry units, Fayetteville and Michigan, and 9th and 10th Cavalry, right? The 9th and 10th Cavalry people might tell you this. No, I've never looked it up and I've never read it. The Danny Glover movie, watched it. It had a lot of very good, pertinent historical information. So did Give Us Free, but it wasn't the right story, And every time they tell the stories, it's not correct. Like Sinceri. Sinceri was probably Lozon, and they didn't get married because she was a two-spirit. She was homosexual. Okay. So she wouldn't have married. She didn't get... Tom Jeffords didn't marry, Lozon, and, she wasn't married because she wasn't going to. She was just very spiritual, and she was there. Yeah, that's the whole thing. and she was not Chiricahua, she was Mescalero. And Cochise and Taza and Nache did favor her. Okay, so did yeah, but she was when Victorio's band was, I'm led to believe, when Victorio's band got massacred, they didn't have Lozon because Lozon was with a Chiricahua woman that had I guess he was half Mescalero, half Chiricahua, or whatever. He was half breed. That's what his thing was. I'm like you, okay? I come from the different tribes and the different things. I'm not from just one tribe. Okay, so you're not Hebrew. No, I'm, so Quilica, say it again. Quilica, Galatle, let the people know you care. So I'm my people. I'm my people's child. Okay, but my people come from many different people and different tribes that will fight against each other and make friendship with each other. Often for the selfish is a matter of convenience, and the unselfish is a matter of survival. And those that do what's right look to people like me and Cochise, and those that would do wrong are selfish and try to keep us united for selfishness or divided because they are selfish. And I'm like, wow, you are so Hebrew. I love you so much. He's the best, I don't know how much Chief Madrid talks to him. I can't tell you because a lot of people, they try, but they don't get them as much. People try to talk to Barboncito and Manuelito and don't get them the same way I do. And they're like, when he gets them, it's wow. I can't do it when I want to. It has to be like forced in me. And I was watching Dark Winds again tonight. Oh, they hate that. Entertainment for murder for money. Son of a bitch, what is wrong with these people? They really are Indians. No, because Judah Krishnamurti's a really good guy. What can two gophers do? Go, you him, say you in heap big trouble. Whoopie doopie, you am genius, right? Okay, guys, I love you, man. We'll talk later. Peace.